They say everything is fair in war. We tend to disagree because even wars have rules. Rules that the Israeli leadership, it seems, continues to ignore in Gaza despite repeated appeals and warnings from the world. And today, another deadly strike in Gaza. This time, it wasn't a Hamas tunnel. It wasn't a military site. It was a place where people went to feel human again. On Thursday, an Israeli strike hit the Mustafa Hafez school in Gaza City, a shelter for displaced Palestinians. At least 17 people were killed, 20 others injured. And according to health officials at Al-Shifa Hospital, Palestinians were seen combing through the rubble, searching for belongings amid the debris. The Israeli military had no immediate comment on the reports. Just a day earlier, Palestinians were burying their dead, killed in an Israeli attack on tents in Khan Yunis. Gaza's health ministry says at least 20 people were killed in separate Israeli strikes and gunfire in the north and south. Meanwhile, evacuations continue as the Israeli military claims its operations are aimed at dismantling Hamas's military capabilities, but declines to comment on specific incidents. And all this follows the monstrous bombing on Monday, a strike that flattened a cafe. Again, not a military camp, not a Hamas command center, but a cafe. The Al-Baqa Cafe in western Gaza City was a bustling seafront spot frequented by journalists, artists, families, activists, people clinging on to the last remaining shreds of normal life in a way. On Monday, Israel dropped a US-made Mk-82 general-purpose 500-pound bomb on it. At least 24 people were killed, among them prominent war reporter and filmmaker Ismail Abu Khattab, a 35-year-old housewife and a 4-year-old child. The injured included a 14-year-old boy, a 12-year-old girl. This is no ordinary weapon, by the way. The 500-pound bomb generates a massive blast wave, sending deadly shrapnel across a wide area. And now experts say that this should be investigated as a war crime. They point to the deliberate use of such a large weapon in a crowded cafe. Remember, under international law, the Geneva Convention, attacks causing excessive civilian deaths compared to military advantage are banned, and experts say only targets of very great importance could ever justify the deaths of dozens of civilians. And so the use of such an ammunition on a civilian target is impossible to justify in a way. And as far as Israel is concerned, its military is saying that the strike is under review. They claim that they used aerial surveillance to minimize civilian harm, despite the cafe not being covered by any evacuation warnings. And as for Gaza's war-weary residents, Al-Baqa Cafe was a rare escape. It had survived more than 20 months of bombings. No food but a cup of tea, internet access, and a glimpse of the sea. A place to remember life before war. It was a safe haven for Gaza's educated youth, journalists, doctors, engineers, people just seeking dignity in a place where war has become the only constant. And the strike comes as Hamas says it is studying what the US President Donald Trump called a final ceasefire proposal. Trump claims that Israel agreed to conditions for a 60-day ceasefire, but Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu insists that Hamas will be eliminated. Remember, this war started when Hamas stormed into Israel on October 7 in the year 2023, killing 1,200 people, taking 251 hostages, and since then, Israel's assault on Gaza has killed over 56,000 Palestinians, displaced nearly all of Gaza's 2.3 million people, and created a human catastrophe. And this begs the question, in modern warfare, who really is safe? And when rules of war are broken with such ease, it seems, what really remains of humanity itself?